In an age of social media, where our engagement helps to inform what we are shown, it's important that we're able to recognize the signs of propaganda. Propaganda is communication that is used to manipulate or persuade people to believe or act in a certain way. You're not immune to propaganda. I'm not immune to propaganda. No one is immune to propaganda, regardless of their level of education or intelligence. But humans are also capable of reason, which means that we also have the capacity to resist propaganda too. Helping to combat propaganda may seem like a daunting task, but it really just is about learning to recognize those signs. While experts may disagree on the details, all propaganda share the following three commonalities: an agenda, a targeted audience, and a massaged message. In this video, I want to provide examples on how these three main commonalities could appear in the current online environment, referencing the current back and forth between Hasan Piker and Ethan Klein to help inform the conversation. The impact of the fallout of these two creators can be felt across a variety of platforms, whether you're seeking it out or not. Hasan makes the conversation easier by already publicly identifying as a propagandist, as well as stating his goals clearly.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
I'm not calling you that.
Propagandist.
I'm just saying, I'm going to play you.
I'm saying I am.
Okay, well then, I'm
saying I am.
I just
before
want to
you even play it.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda. You want America, in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way for places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond social democratic ideas.
I just wanted to put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel, where, for example, Hasan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say, and then they start looking into this new idea, etc., and then move forwards through the funnel, get more and more informed, get more and more radicalized. You do your part in the funnel for the cause, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're doing, in my modest opinion, a great thing for the cause.
Before I get started talking about the big three, I want to provide some information that I believe is relevant on the individuals involved. I hope that this will help to contextualize some of the upcoming clips I will show in case you're unfamiliar with the duos falling out over the past year. Ethan Klein, YouTuber for 10 plus years who is known for his comedic, edgy commentary, has a reputation for being controversial, self-identifies as a social democrat, American Jew who lived in Israel for 5 years and is married to an Israeli woman, publicly criticized Israel and supported Palestine prior to October 7th. Hasan Piker, leftist political Twitch streamer who averages 30,000 live viewers, known for his coverage of the Israel-Palestine conflict post-October 7th. He has a reach beyond online media. He is a Turkish-American who grew up in Istanbul. Both were former hosts of the political YouTube podcast Leftovers. As Hasan said earlier, he's a propagandist whose goal is to be a funnel for radicalization. Exposing his audience to critical media of him may break them out of the illusion that he's created, making it a direct threat to his goals. Even though the back and forth between Hasan Piker and Ethan Klein has been going on for a couple months now, I'm going to use Ethan Klein's content nuke and Hasan's response to it to assist in demonstrating Hasan's agenda, his targeted audience, and his massaged message. Propaganda and its techniques are inherently neutral. What makes them good or bad is the agenda that it serves. Propaganda makers are working to promote a specific cause, ideology, group, or individual. That's what sets propaganda apart from expressing a personal opinion or even a divisive idea. Propaganda is powered by the desire to make a bigger impact. The agenda of Hasan's edited VOD titled Debate Me Ethan Klein is to prevent and dissuade his audience from engaging with critical media of himself. His video description also reiterates his intent to not watch Ethan's video. The creators of propaganda think carefully about who will see their messages. Even if the audience they identify is large and varied, propaganda makers know who they want to see their work and design their content to resonate with these targets. The positive public relationships Hasan has cultivated on YouTube has garnered him credibility within left-leaning spaces. It also has allowed him to continue to farm new audience members from these other communities. Propaganda makers use persuasive techniques to shape their content, making it more memorable and convincing. Sometimes these techniques may be rooted in the truth, but other times they may omit or alter the facts to better serve the ultimate agenda. I'm gonna show a few moments of Hasan from the Debate Me Ethan Klein video and pause to identify some of those techniques.
We can have a conversation on your stream. We can have a conversation on my stream. Last time I had the baby gloves on and you cried like a bitch after doing Teddy Fresh ads in the midst of our genocide coverage. That's right. And I'm not talking about the Leftovers episode where he actually cried. That was a beautiful moment. And I was actually very wrong for thinking that actually meant something. It turned out it didn't mean shit for you at all. Because selfishly, you spent the next year constantly ripping into, suspiciously, a lot of, not myself, but other people of color. I'm not calling myself a person of color. I know it's going to get clipped out of context here as well. And then you're going to be like, meh, 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 whatever. No, just noticing that you have just been going after a lot of people of color, Arabs, Muslims in general, just constantly talking about how scary they are. You know, why are they so scary? I don't know, because maybe you're an Islamophobic moron who retweets or basically tweets out Ben Shapiro quotes about Hamas. Maybe that's the reason why people think you're super pro-Israel, okay? Maybe that's why.
Hot potato. This is an inflammatory, often untrue statement or question used to throw an opponent off guard or to embarrass them. The fact that it may be utterly untrue is irrelevant because it still brings controversy to the opponent.
Make no mistake, I'm a serious person who definitely understands things. Very smart, very intelligent. Definitely not a hack, failed, dumb comedian, in air quotes, still doing 2014 memes on the timeline. Well, I'm not on the timeline anymore. I'm actually too scared to be on the timeline, so I just fucking constantly whine about it from behind my Instagram stories, even though I'm a 50-year-old dude with like 3 children.
Ad hominem attack. You attack the messenger instead of the argument or evidence that is presented.
What am I supposed to do? Watch every crash out? You think like every single time some slop tuber makes a video, this is actually incredibly important points? The only thing you're demonstrating is your own stupidity. It's an hour and 40 minutes of a sex pests, cults, communities, compiled garbage that he took a week off to literally shave off the serial numbers off of, basically, just so that there wasn't that stink associated with it, because unfortunately for him, his favorite content creator was outed as a sex pest for consensually and unconsensually recording people while they're having sex and then distributing it to a bunch of other 19-year-old Discord e-girl kittens that he wanted to fuck. And then all of those videos were leaked a month ago, including videos of him having sex with his ex-wife, who I know for a fact she has mentioned did not give him consent to release those videos to random people. And the idea that this is a deflection is moronic, because I have mentioned every single stupid point brought up a million times over. But yeah.
Guilt by association. When someone connects an opponent to a demonized group of people or to a bad person in order to discredit his or her argument, the idea is that the person is guilty by simply being similar or associated with the bad group, and therefore their arguments should be disregarded. The main takeaway I hope people get from this video is to be more critical of those you choose to watch, even if you believe them to be morally righteous. Take time to leave your content bubble and engage with diverse ideas, including those you don't agree with. Engaging with media you don't agree with doesn't mean you endorse those beliefs, but it does help protect you against propaganda. Before I wrap up, I wanted to show some clips from Ethan's video too. I think it's only fair given that we've only seen clips from Hasan's perspective up to this point.
The problem wasn't that he was pro-Palestinian, because I share a lot of those views and I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years. The problem with Hasan's coverage, and a lot of people like him, was their complete lack of empathy for the Jewish people who were frankly slaughtered by Hamas. He refused to show even a crumb of empathy for the Jewish victims. But listen to what this guy has to say.
And as you might have seen, there was some sort of rave or desert party where they were having a great time until the resistance came in electrified hang gliders and took at least several dozen hipsters. But I'm sure they're doing very fine despite what the New York Post says. But nobody had seen this coming.
I mean, that's insane, right?
I don't even. Yeah. Okay. Like.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm just criticizing people. You don't have to comment if you're not comfortable about it. I honestly felt at times that he and his audience barely thought of Israelis as humans. But this dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in the settlement.
Of course, if you compare the raw numbers, Gazans have lost a lot more than Israelis. 40,000 people have died, and neighborhoods have been completely flattened during this war. And while we should keep their plight at the top of our minds at all time, it also doesn't mean that we should disregard the lives of the Jewish people who are also affected by this, even if their suffering on the whole is not as great. Some of you may know that I'm an Israeli dual citizen. My wife is Israeli, my kids are half Israeli, and my entire in-law is Israeli. I lived there for 5 years, and I grew a closeness with the country and its people. One of the biggest issues between me, Hasan, and his community was that I am in favor of a two-state solution while they are in favor of a one-state solution.
I'll leave links to resources I used in the description. Thank you for watching and stay vigilant.